Hello and welcome to another live surprise pop-up royal reviewer video, and today's one is rather special because it is, of course, if you are from the USA, it is Thanksgiving, as you will know. So I just want to say a really big happy Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving. And if you have been to my community page on my YouTube channel, I did post a happy Thanksgiving post on there, so do go and check that out. You can leave a comment if you want to. But also, if you are not a US citizen and you do not celebrate Thanksgiving, it is also, I think, a really good time in the year for everyone, no matter what country you're from, to think about something that you can be thankful for in your life. It could be your family, it could be that you have food to eat tonight, it could be anything. So just think of something that you can be thankful for. So just think of something that you can be thankful for. Now, I was going to, actually I changed the title of this live pop-up video. It was originally going to be called Royal Bits and Bobs, British Royal Family Chat, because I've got lots and lots of little tiny stories in my notes that I just wanted to go through. But I think the big leading story that everyone's probably going to be talking about today is that it's Thanksgiving, and that it's Meghan's first Thanksgiving as a member of the British royal family. Now, last year, she celebrated Thanksgiving not with Harry, because Harry was doing royal engagements in the Caribbean. So he was off, I think he was on a ship at the time, actually. He was staying in the ship. And I think it was that tour when he also met Rihanna, if I'm remembering correctly. So Meghan didn't spend Thanksgiving with Harry that year. I believe she spent it with her family, and I think she posted some photographs of what she cooked as well. I didn't see them because I didn't look at the TIG at that time, so I didn't really get to see them. But we all know that she's a fabulous cook. She got engaged over a chicken, so big fan flap for Meghan for getting engaged over a chicken. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Meghan's first Thanksgiving. Now, there has been lots of speculation about what she might be doing, how she might be spending Thanksgiving. But again, as always with all of these royal stories, nothing has been publicised, nothing is known, it's all guesswork. I've read all the articles from the newspapers about what Meghan might be doing for Thanksgiving, and again, the wording is really ambiguous. It's just guesswork. They are literally just clutching at straws and guessing. Now, this is where common sense comes in. So, as we all know, Meghan is American. She's still American. She's going through the process of becoming British. But Thanksgiving will always be, I think, a really important holiday to Meghan. So the likelihood is that she most likely will be celebrating Thanksgiving here in the UK. So I would imagine that it probably is true that she will be cooking some kind of Thanksgiving dinner or meal. Now, Harry and Meghan both have not had any engagement scheduled for today, so that could be completely on purpose. I think it most likely will be because of Thanksgiving. So I believe that she probably will be cooking a meal for Harry. Now, this is where we really don't know. This is where we go into territory of rumours and, dare I say, fake news. We don't know if she's cooking for anyone else other than Harry. We don't even know if she's cooking for Harry, but I think she probably will be. We don't know if she's invited the Cambridges. It is just complete guesswork and speculation. It would be very, very nice if she had this amazing Thanksgiving meal prepared at Kensington Palace for all of the royals. That would be amazing. And I'm sure she would be an incredible host, as we know she is an incredible cook. We've also seen Meghan cooking this week. So I just wanted to let you know that none of this is known. We don't know if she is. It's just guesswork on the part of people wanting to get clicks and views. Now, I want to go to the chat room because I haven't opened it yet. Because I want to see what all you guys, of course, are saying. And I've got lots of other little bits and pieces of royal news and fake news that I want to go through. So let me just open up this window, if it will open. It's slow today. It's a bit like me, it's slow today. Feeling rather slow. Lots of people saying Happy Thanksgiving. And yes, I do hope you have something to be thankful for wherever you are. Let's just go down, hang on. Again, everyone. H London says, "Did you cook a turkey?" No. Tonight I am having fish cakes with parsley sauce and cheesy mashed potato. That's what I'm having today. But Thanksgiving in the US, your Thanksgiving dinner is very much like a British Christmas dinner, I suppose. I mean, maybe a few differences, but it's kind of the same kind of thing, kind of. But no, we're saving up for our Christmas dinner because we really enjoy it on the Christmas day. So, was there anything else about Meghan's Thanksgiving that I wanted to talk about? Let me have a look. Um, no. And we also don't know if Doria is over for Thanksgiving. I haven't seen head nor tail of her. I don't think she's been mentioned in the media that she's in the country. It doesn't mean that she's not, it just means that we haven't seen if she is. So, again, we really don't know. Now, let's have a little look. What else was on my list I wanted to talk about? Sarah Ferguson. Fergie. Sarah, Duchess of York. Whatever you want to call her, whatever you know her by. She was in an article that I read speaking out about Diana. Now, I think this was a bit from the Good Morning Britain interview, I believe, but it wasn't in the 8-minute clip that was on YouTube. So there may have been a little bit that I missed. So I'm just going from an article. So let's just talk about what was said in the article. So she was talking about Diana, and she was talking about what Diana would have said about William and Catherine and Harry and Meghan. And she said that she thought that Diana would be extremely proud. And she thought that Diana would have said that she couldn't believe that her boys would have done so well. Again, it's just, would Diana have said that? I mean, I would imagine she would be extremely proud. But again, it's just something someone says, thinking what someone might say. But Sarah apparently did say that she was thinking very much about Diana the moment she stepped out of the car when she was obviously invited and attending Meghan and Harry's wedding. What else did she say? She also said that she thought Diana would have definitely given Catherine and Meghan a big, huge hug. And she also thought that Diana would have praised them for their excellent work. Probably likely. I mean, we aren't ever going to know that, sadly, because obviously the situation isn't that way. But, Sarah was close friends with Diana, and I guess she would have had an insight into what Diana would have thought. So there we go. I mean, I can't really say anything else particularly on that. Also this week, well, actually yesterday, Meghan and Catherine both wore the same colour. Shock horror! Oh, they wore the same colour. My goodness. Oh, everyone was going into overdrive. Okay, let's just put some perspective on it. They wore the same colour. I don't think there was anything in it. I don't think there was anything planned. I don't think they discussed it. I think it was just an accident. It's winter. Those kind of colours are in winter. I mean, what would you describe it as? A kind of plum colour? Maybe? Like a plummy purple colour? Those kind of colours are in. I don't think they discussed it. Catherine probably didn't even see the photographs coming back of Meghan earlier in the day before she wore what she wore. People are trying to look for things. Was Catherine trying to upstage Meghan or copy her? No, I really don't think so. I think it was just a happy accident. Well, I don't know if it was a happy accident, but I think it was just an accident that they wore the same colour. It can happen. Sometimes they don't ever, talk about what they're wearing to each other. I mean, I don't suppose they exchange texts on what they're wearing that day. It is what it is. They just wore the same colour, and I don't think there was anything in it. And there's no shock. There's no shock horror with it. So there we go. Oh, but what are people saying about the wearing the same colour? I will go through some of these comments more towards the end, but maybe I should start up a little bit before I carry on. Let's have a look. Lots of people saying hello, and thank you for being here. Let's have a look. I'm going down. Nathanetta Pre says, I hope she does cook. In one of the interviews with the Suits cast, They asked who gives the best dinner parties, and they all said Meghan. Well, there you go. I'm sure she would. H. London says, I really enjoy Sarah's great sense of humour. I think we all do. Suzanne says, love your shirt. Is it George V? No, it's Tsar Nicholas. This is my lovely Tsar Nicholas, and isn't he handsome? My goodness. Ah, if only he was alive today. Oh, gorgeous. I'm gonna give Tsar Nicholas a yellow fan flap, just for his gorgeousness. In fact, I'm gonna have to mist to cool off. Oh, it's like having a shower. Yes, I had to mist just to cool off. Let's have a look. Mrs. VSN says, oh, it was funny to see the video title speculating on them wearing the same colour. I knew it was going to happen. As soon as I noticed they were wearing the same colour, I knew it would just go into meltdown of fake news. H. London says, it was so funny and Sarah was so animated when she told Piers Morgan to get a life. She did. She told him. Glad she did, as he was pressing her for info. He was pressing her very much. Claire says, thanks for being impartial. You are welcome. I will continue for as long as you want to watch me be impartial. Alicia said they had the same hairstyle too. Shock horror. They've both got dark hair and they wore it in the same style. There really is no news there, I'm afraid. Oh, another bit of news. See, they're all little odds and bits. That's what I wanted to call it originally. Royal bits and bobs, I was going to call it. But yes, more news. And I think this originated from Omid Scobie, who is a royal correspondent. And he said that when he was at a recent engagement with Meghan, I think it was the Hub Kitchen one, possibly, he asked one of the assistants or somebody about the speeches. And they said that Meghan writes her own speeches. Well, excellent. I mean, that is really, really good. Because obviously, you know, who knows what you want to say more than you? Lots of royals do have speech writers or advisors. I'm not saying Meghan doesn't have any advice with her speeches or that people don't read them through before, obviously, they're finalised for her to actually deliver. But it seems like she does spend a lot of time writing her own speeches, and maybe that's one of the reasons why she can deliver them so well without notes, because it's actually come from her, and it's come from her heart, and it's come from her head. So, you know, maybe that's the reason why she doesn't need so many notes and reference points and that kind of thing. And I think it's really, really nice, you know, and obviously this is obviously coming out now because she's educated, she has the ability to, and the understanding and the knowledge to be able to put together, you know, decent sentences and to come up with a really good speech. And we know from her speeches that she made in Australia and the one that she made about the Hub Kitchen when she launched the cookbook, we know that she has a really good mind and she has a really good eye for words and communication. And that was one of the things in her monogram that she had. Not her monogram, her heraldry, where we had the open mouth, which was supposed to represent communication. And she is indeed really, really good at communicating. And I think it's just really positive that she is able and can and does write her own speeches. Now, this is not unique within the royal family. Of course, Prince Charles, William, Catherine, they will have all, you know, at some point maybe written their own speech. You know, however, the more speeches there are to deliver, the more help will be needed, because it is an incredible amount of work to write these speeches, especially if you have a lot to deliver in a short space of time. But kudos for Meghan for doing it. But I'm sure, obviously, the speeches will have had advice as well from royal aides. So there we go. Let me know what you think about that. Let's just go to the comments and see if people are talking about it. Sharon says, plus she wrote for her blog. She did. She did write for her blog. Okay, I'm going to move on to another point. Let's have a look. This was when Meghan met Gary Barlow. And this was for, obviously, the Royal Variety Show. So, Gary Barlow reportedly told Meghan something that she didn't know about Harry. Shall we find out what it is? Well, we found out, and we don't know, but it was featured on one of Take That's songs. Now, did he sing? Did he play an instrument? We don't know. We don't know which song, but we do know that he was in Jamaica at the time with Gary Barlow and possibly the rest of Take That when he was featured on some Take That song. So we don't know which one, but maybe it's a vocal, maybe it's an instrument, we don't know. But we also found out that he features, Harry is playing a tambourine on the song Sing. Now, Sing was written and produced and recorded by Gary Barlow, and it was for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, and it was the official song. So you can Google Sing, and if you haven't heard it, it will come up, and I'm sure you can watch some of the performances from that. So there we go. Harry is on at least 2 records, and Meghan didn't know that, and she said, "You learn something every day." Well, you do indeed. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yes, Prince Charles's 70th birthday photo. You remember the official ones taken by Chris Jackson, where they're all smiling and laughing, and it appears that somebody who was on set at the time, I cannot confirm if this is true or not, but someone is saying that the reason that they were all laughing and smiling, and actually in one, it kind of checks out, because in one photograph, Camilla is kind of pointing over to one side, as if something is amusing them. And I think if this person is to be believed, we may know what it is. And we think that it was actually William and Catherine's nanny, Maria Borrallo, who was making funny faces to make the children laugh. So there you have it. That was possibly why they were all laughing, and also made the adults laugh. And we also found out that that photo shoot actually took only 15 minutes. So it was a really rapid photo shoot for Chris Jackson. So well done to Chris Jackson for doing it in 15 minutes, because children are notoriously hard to work with. So they only had a 15-minute window, I think, before the children got grumpy, as they do, they're children. So it was really rapid, and I think the results of that 15-minute photo shoot were incredible and very natural and relaxed. So there we have a little bit of inside information, and apparently the inside source told this to US Weekly. So there you have it. Also this week, the Queen and Prince Philip have celebrated their 71st wedding anniversary. My goodness, they got married on the 20th of November 1947. 71 years, my goodness, can you imagine? So congratulations to Her Majesty and Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. Hang on, I'm just doing something in the chat room. Okay. Right, I've done something on the chat room. Do not worry. Okay. Also, there's this... Okay, I am going to call this fake news. This is fake news, so I'm going to give it a slap. Or a fan flap. This is definitely fake news. Okay, there is some kind of really weird story going around about the Queen being shocked. Shocked by the power. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, no, not Kylie, not shocked by the power. She was shocked by Meghan's white wedding dress. Oh no. No. The Queen was not shocked by Meghan's white wedding dress. Yes, it is tradition in Britain, although not everyone follows it, not these days. It's an old-fashioned tradition that if you're divorced and then you remarry, that you can't possibly wear white because obviously you're not a virgin anymore. And you wear a different colour, or cream, or, you know, that kind of colour. But Meghan, as we know, wore lovely pure white. So this story is going around that the Queen was shocked and surprised. No. And I have evidence for this. So I did a little bit of digging. Well, not digging. It took me 2 minutes on Google. Obviously, we know that Princess Anne got divorced and got remarried. Now, even though Princess Anne wasn't wearing a traditional wedding dress on her second marriage, what colour was she wearing? She was wearing white. She was wearing white for her second wedding. So the Queen has absolutely nothing against a divorced person wearing white on their remarriage. There you have it. So it was a completely fake story. So the Queen was not shocked. The Queen was not angry. The Queen hasn't kicked anybody out. So there we have it. Nothing wrong with Meghan wearing white on her wedding day. It didn't upset anybody. Ta-da! Let's go and read what people are saying. Cindy says, I wasn't a virgin when I married for the first time. Anybody can wear white. What did they want her to wear down the aisle? Something black? My goodness. I have no idea what they wanted. Actually, it's tradition in the UK, going back a long time, if you're married, for the wedding dress to be red. And that's the same in India as well, actually. They get married in red. The bridal gown is red. And it was always red in the UK, well, England, I should say, up until Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria started the trend for white wedding dresses. There you go. So actually, you wouldn't be going against tradition to wear red for your wedding. James Medford says, the Queen is very informed and has been to so many places, I don't think she shocks easily. I would agree with that, totally. Oh, Vicky P's just commented on my Queen Victoria comment. You're saying the same thing as me. Well, you are correct. Margaret says, is it me or does it seem like the Queen has relaxed a great deal in her age? I think she's just become, like everyone in modern society, things aren't as stuffy as what they used to be. Things were very, very stuffy in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And things have just relaxed a little bit more, and people are allowed to express a little bit more personality. And the Queen isn't a big one to be expressing personality. She does like to kind of, keep that face quite straight a lot of times. But these days she is smiling a lot more and showing, I think, a lot more. She's a lot more natural, I think, is the word to describe it. Let's have a look. And Suzanne says, I agree, the Queen has relaxed a bit more. Natheta Pre says, this was Meghan's first time being married in a church. She was married in a civil ceremony the first time in Jamaica. And no, Teresa, I do not have Twitter, but there is a Facebook. Royal Reviewer on Facebook. And there is a page and a group. There you go. Oh, Joanne says, I actually loved Camilla's wedding dress. I loved it too. The feathers. And it was a beautiful colour. And I suppose you could kind of call it like a coat dress. I liked the coat aspect. And it was in duck egg, which I loved. And yes, Charles looked great too. Alicia says, can you talk about Prince Charles's statement? I haven't heard of a statement. What statement? About Harry and Meghan's baby? Was there a statement? Have I missed something? Let me just check. I will check for you live. If there has been a statement, it will be on the Clarence House Twitter. So I shall check for you now. Has there been a statement that I have missed? No. I mean, today he has attended. He has made a speech, but I don't think it was about Harry and Meghan's baby. Let's have a look. I will have a little quick browse of the speech. Do you want me to read the speech? Oh no, it's quite a long one. I think I'll save that for a video. I'm just skim reading to see if there is anything about Harry and Meghan's baby, or bump as they affectionately call it, which I can't see. I can't see anything about Harry and Meghan's baby, and I wouldn't see how it would fit into this speech. No. Unless I've just missed it with my skim reading, I can't see anything. So do let me know what you've heard, and I'll see if I can decipher it for you. Nefeta Pri says, I think the tabloids just need stories so they can come up with these stories not only about Meghan but the royal family. They're desperate to get clicks and views and money. Alicia says he sent out congratulations to everyone for his new grandchild. I haven't seen that. I'm afraid until I see it. And why would he do that? I mean, unless of course you're talking about the statement he made when it was first announced, saying that he was happy with the news. But we're going back a bit with that, and you may be listening to regurgitated news, maybe old news. But yes, there was a little statement saying that he was happy and pleased for the couple, but that was of course back with the announcement just before the Australian tour. Joan E says, sorry I'm missing you. The family is here. Well, you need to enjoy your Thanksgiving. Of course you do. Brent says, Prince Charles, and I'm not even going to read that one because it's rude. My goodness. Language, people. Suzanne says, is it true Harry and Meghan are going to move? No. They're still splitting their time between Nottingham Cottage at Kensington Palace, which is the smallest cottage within the grounds of Kensington Palace, opposite Diana's old apartments, and their little bolt hole in the Cotswolds, which they're renting, which is apparently an old cowshed. Renovated, of course, minus the cows. They are not sharing with cows. They haven't gone that low. They are not sharing with cows, but it is a renovated, old-fashioned cow barn, apparently. So they're renting that until their country property is finalised. We don't know which one. There's been lots rumoured, nothing confirmed, so we're going to have to wait and see on that one. As for apartment 1, which is the Gloucesters, they were never going to move out. It was never agreed they were going to move out. The renovation work done to apartment 1 was routine work, and it was actually a renovation of the roof and the clock tower. It wasn't anything internal. They never said they were going to move out, so they haven't gone back on anything. There's this story about the Duchess of Gloucester saying that now she doesn't want to move out. No, that is completely fake news. They were never going to move out in the first place, so they can't go back on anything if they were never going to anyway. What is likely, and I've said this many, many times, so sorry if you're hearing me say it again, but there is renovation work. There's a basement extension going on under the Kensington Palace orangery, and it's a 2 or a 3-storey extension. Currently, Harry and Meghan's and William and Catherine's offices are in Diana's old apartments, which were slightly renovated over the years. What's likely to happen is that those offices are going to move to the new extension basement once it's completed. It's not complete yet. So that will, of course, free up Diana's old apartments for Harry and Meghan. Again, no confirmation on if they will, but it's most likely that they will take up those empty apartments. Unless, in the meantime, something comes up voluntarily within Kensington Palace. Apartment 1 would be great, but the Gloucesters have no intention of moving out. It was never on the cards, and they aren't going to be kicked out or asked to move because they are still full-time working royals. They still work for the Queen, and that's been their home. The Queen would never kick them out. They would never be asked to move out. They would never be asked to give it up for Harry and Meghan. If they did, it would be voluntarily of their own choice, but they are not required to. So the most likelihood is that they're waiting for Diana's old apartments to become available. That's my opinion, and we'll have to wait and see on the whole housing situation. But that's the most likely, I think, course of action. Moving away from Kensington Palace, I don't think would be an option because you don't get what you get at Kensington Palace. You don't get being so close to the offices. You don't get the security. You don't get the seclusion that Kensington Palace offers. And also, you're close to family. So why would you want to move away? It doesn't make any sense to me. Alicia, I think she's clarifying what she heard, said Prince Charles said that he was thankful for everyone who congratulated him for his new soon-to-be grandchild so far. Apparently it's on one of the royal family social medias. Well, it's not on Twitter. So maybe I shall go and look at Instagram, perhaps. Maybe. Margaret says, I heard Diana say that she never liked the apartment in Kensington Palace. Well, it was her home, and she did, of course, keep it after the divorce. But I think what she didn't like was the scrutiny of being followed around as soon as you leave. As soon as you leave the gates of Kensington Palace, you're followed around by the press. And of course, we know that shortly before her untimely demise, she wanted to have a bolt hole at Althorpe, which was the home of her brother, her ancestral home. And of course, we know that he said no. He said yes to begin with, and then said no. So she wanted that retreat. And I think at the time, in the 90s, there was immense scrutiny, paparazzi waiting outside the gates. And I think she felt a little bit trapped. So I think that's possibly what she meant by that. Teresa says, so where do Harry and Meghan live? Nottingham Cottage, which is in Kensington Palace, and a bolt hole in the Cotswolds, a converted cowshed, minus the cows. Hang on just a second. There we go. Okay. Margaret says, James, Princess Alexandra lives at St James Palace. Yes, there are royal apartments at St James's Palace. Beatrice and Eugenie shared an apartment up until recently, of course, when Eugenie moved out. She's still at Kensington Palace. She's not moving out. She hasn't been kicked out. There's no animosity between Eugenie and Meghan. She hasn't left. She hasn't bought anywhere else. She was seen leaving a new apartment block, but we think that's because she was looking at a property investment rather than somewhere for her to move into. Again, it's the same thing. Why would you leave the seclusion and the protection of Kensington Palace? It's a bit of a no-brainer. But again, we'll have to wait and see on that one, but she certainly hasn't moved out yet. Yes, and I agree with Cornwall 59. There was also spies. I think the phone lines at one time were tapped. That's how they got some of the tapes, which were well publicised in the 90s. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it here because I've been live for 32 minutes and I only wanted to pop on and talk about a few royal bits and bobs. So what I'm going to conclude with is, wherever you are in the world, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing Thanksgiving if you do celebrate Thanksgiving. And like I said earlier, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I'm sure you can find something in your life to be thankful for. So, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media and hit the notification bell. So hopefully, if YouTube is working right, you will be notified if I upload a new video or when I upload a new video. So, from me in Shropshire, goodbye.